Hey everybody, my name is Dragnix, and this is something of a combination video. Now fans of the channel know that I've been doing a review based on a user poll each week. And while the two videos that I have completed have been hit and miss in terms of views, I like the concept, and I will be keeping it. Now you're probably wondering where the last two ones are then. Well, Danganronpa is a victim of circumstance right now. With all the games that I had on embargo that I wanted to hit, they took first priority. And that's the same for Deseggia PC, which I really wanted to hit sooner due to the PC problems that were reported. But one of the things I learned is that I could have gotten a Danganronpa review copy if I had asked early enough. Now I was surprised by this, as I'm a smaller channel, but that would have been better for you guys as a whole. See, review copies to me are not free games. I mean, any game purchase I make can be tax deductible as this is my attempted business. However, it's more the time aspect that's beneficial here. More time before embargo means I have more time with the game and to really mess around with it, which means a better review for you guys as a whole. Now don't take that as I rush other reviews, I don't, but something like a first impressions may turn into a review with more time. So here's the deal with this video. I'm going to go over the next several weeks' choices of the game targets I have for that week and briefly describe them. Specifically the big game of that week. These will be the bigger releases that aren't things like COD, but the next level. Because I want to know what you guys want. Now, I'm starting this 2 weeks from now in terms of coverage so that I can catch up with Danganronpa and Deseggia, both really long games. The polls will be done via YouTube's new card poll system, but if that doesn't work, I'll have links to straw polls in the description below. And these polls will close on March 3rd. So without further ado, here's the list of each games that I'm targeting for each week. Actually, one last note. I will do my best to get the game review up on embargo date if I get a review copy. But if I don't, expect it reasonably after the release date. Not like, 2 weeks after like Danganronpa is, but more so maybe a week after or a couple days after. I do want to take the time to play through the game and not rush it. For the week of March 14th to March 20th. Choice number 1, Samurai Warriors 4 Empires for the PlayStation 4, which releases on March 15th. Look, it's a Dynasty Warriors series game, so you should know what to expect. Hacking, slashing, etc. But people forget that these games can have strategy and detail to them on higher levels. And it'll be interesting to see if there's any new mechanics that were learned from games like Hyrule Warriors. Choice number 2 that I will definitely butcher the pronunciation of. Senran Kagura Estival Versus for the PlayStation 4 that releases on March 15th. This will be a little different for me. Now there is lots of enemies to take on and there's a bit of similarity to Dynasty Warriors, except it's with anime girls, and a lack of clothing. It makes me wonder why I even put Samurai Warriors as an option here, because it's up against this. Actually, I wouldn't even call this a race at this point, until the third choice for this week comes into play. Option 3, Pokken Tournament for the Wii U that comes out on March 18th. A Pokemon fighting game? Okay, this is a really interesting combination. We've seen the Pokemon universe expand into other genres, but this is a whole new side of it. There seems to be meters, helpers, a lot of what the fighting genre would expect, but it's also in the 3D playing field like Tekken. It's really interesting to see this game and what it has to offer. I'm actually thinking about reviewing it regardless. Those are your choices for March 14th through March 20th for the game that I take a look at. Now I'll take a little bit of time, I'll put the poll up, and give you a little bit of time before moving on to the next poll. 1001, 1002, 1000, I'll give you about 5 to 10 seconds at this point, mostly because pausing the video is going to be a little bit awkward. Okay, let me vote. Why not just have it keep on going? Alright, for the week of March 21st through March 27th, your choices are Option number 1, Lichdom Battle Mage for the Xbox One and PS4 on March 22nd. I didn't get the chance to try it on the PC when it came out, and while I always prefer to play it on the PC platform, being a mage in an FPS still is intriguing. And it should say how there's a lack of options this week, which probably doesn't help in making a case for this choice. But hey, magic and fire, and without keyboard controls. This can only go well, right? Option number 2, Slain for the PC on March 24th. a heavy metal inspired combat puzzle game with gore galore. This has been on my radar for a while now with its visuals, and it has a distinct Castlevania feel to it. Now the game was actually delayed because it was too hard for playtesters, which sounds right up my alley. Just hope it doesn't get delayed again. Option number 3, The Descendant for the PC that comes out on March 24th. A point-and-click adventure game about climate change wrecking the planet. Now humanity is screwed in this game, so they went Fallout style and locked a bunch of people in arcs while the planet recovered. And everyone rewoke except for one arc, Arc 01. The game is about that and the mystery around it. Seems reasonable from a drama standpoint, and I love these sci-fi kind of things. So those are your choices for March 21st to March 27th. Honestly, there's not a whole lot going on that week. March isn't exactly the biggest month, but you'd expect a little bit more bigger titles. Alright, the third vote, March 28th through April 3rd. Option 1, Adrift, for the Oculus Rift and for the PC on March 28th. The only survivor of a catastrophic event, left with no memory, a critical damaged Ava suit leaking oxygen, and no way home. So this game is a little bit story-based, so why do I want to cover it? Well, it's because it's getting a lot of quotes for its use of VR, and I want to see how well that does without VR, because I don't have any to review with, of course. Also, who doesn't love space games? Option number 2, Knights of Azure for the PlayStation 4 on March 29th. It's a Japanese RPG about a dark storyline under the direction of Kasuke Kochiya, one of the men behind the Fatal Frame series. And before you say anything, yes, I butchered the name. Now that's enough to get me interested, to be honest. And the fact that it's one of the only things that drew my attention this week should say enough. The dark storyline, the fact that it's a Japanese RPG, which is something that I love, okay, sure, I'll take a look at it. Option number 3, Epistory for the PC on March 30th. Now this game comes out of early access. It's a typing game. Yes, you heard me, a typing game. You play as a muse who started an adventure on a blank page, and you need to make the world around you. It's action-adventure, but the story premise along with the odd typing element makes it stand out for me, and it's something that I'm looking to cover. And that's it for March 28th through April 3rd, and you can vote on it now. Now, personally, I want to play Knights of Azure, but I may actually play 2 of these games or even all 3 depending on what's going on that week. The fact is, I haven't exactly got the indies nailed down for that week in question. Alright, the final vote for now, April 4th through April 10th. Option number 1, Quantum Break for the Xbox One and PC on April 5th. Look, time travel. That's enough to get me interested. But it's one of the most anticipated releases of the year, now even more anticipated that it's coming out to PC. And it's a new IP that sorta has the bullet time super hot mechanic playing out in it. That's good enough for me. Option number 2, Dirt Rally for the Xbox One and the PS4 on April 5th. Look, I'm not a fan of racing games in general. I guess this is one that people want covered. I mean, there's not a lot else announced for that week. So yeah, it's on this list. Option number 3, a retro game. Yeah, there's not much coming out this week, as I said before, so maybe a retro review would work here. Now, I've got enough games that could probably fill in this spot at this point, but I do want to know if people want to see a retro review or not, so I'll put it in this slot. And those are your choices from April 4th to April 10th. Obviously, there's a clear winner in my book here, but again, this is a vote for you guys, so make a choice of what exactly you want me to do. Now, I stopped here. I could have gone further at this point, but the thing is that there are a lot of games that are announced for the second quarter this year, and they haven't exactly announced their exact release date. So I do want to hold off a little bit while still getting a jump on possibly requesting a review copy. Anyway, this is Dragnix signing out. I hope you enjoyed this video or, found it useful for what I'm going to be covering in the near future, and I will see you guys later. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you found this video useful, hit that like button, maybe share it with a friend. I write an appropriate Steam review that you can find in the description below for games on Steam, and I'll respond to any comments below regarding questions about the game and feedback about the video. If you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button, and you can check out my last video in the top left and a related video in the top right. You want to keep this channel running as well? Then consider supporting my work on Patreon, which you can find in the description below, along with my Google Plus page, Facebook group, and Twitter handle. This is Dragnix signing out, and keep on gaming.